Hey, everybody. Welcome to season 3 of Taco Tuesday. Happy New Year. Happy 2022. We have some big things planned. We are changing how we will be delivering these episodes. Every Tuesday, you will still be getting a brand new episode from Christian and I. However, they won't always be live. So if you're trying to stay on top of new episodes, find us anywhere that a podcast can be found. You can also find us on Christian Brindle's YouTube channel, or of course, the Six Figure Medicare Agent Facebook group. We will have all the videos posted in there. Also, I have some exciting news that Christian will be sharing as well.
Hey guys, thank you so much for sticking with us. It's been a wild last couple of years with Taco Tuesday with Glen and myself. As we enter season 3 in the 2022 year, we're going to be doing, like Glen said, of things a little bit differently. We feel like it's going to be a better way to bring you content more consistently, but also we're trying to get you to a place where we're bringing you better content and we're actually able to bring it to you in a more efficient manner for us as well. So that way everybody wins. Glen and I are going to both be speaking in June this year at the Six Figure Medicare Agent Summit. Little picture of it right there to my left here. If you guys haven't got your tickets to that yet, I highly encourage you to do so. There is limited seating, and it's a 2-day event jam-packed with amazing speakers. With, like I mentioned, Glenn and myself will both be there. We'll both be taking the stage, but we also have people like Galen Hendricks, Justin Brock, Daniel Kunkel Roberts, Justin Thomas, Matthew Murray will be announced by the time this goes live. Joe Trottola, just a ton of people. I can't name them all, but get your tickets while you can. You can find tickets down in the description of the YouTube video here, or you can go to the Six Figure Medicare Agent Summit page on Google. Just Google Six Figure Medicare Agent Summit. You'll find the tickets very easily.
Looking forward to seeing you guys in person this year. We're going to have to do some Taco Tuesday related things. As always, enjoy the tacos, and we'll be catching you guys every single Tuesday. Have a great year.
Hey, Taco Tuesday fans, this is Christian Brindle.
And I am Glen Shelton.
We came together and combined our forces to create something special for insurance agents called Taco Tuesday. Let's taco about insurance. My company, Christian Brindle Insurance Services,
and my company, Lead Heroes,
is here to bring you the latest and greatest news happening in the insurance industry today and eat some tacos while we do it.
If you enjoy the content that we put out on this podcast, feel free to leave us a review or subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes.
Without further ado, let's get into this episode of Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. Oh man, dude, we still need, I just remembered as we were dancing right there, the taco song from last season.
That's right. I forgot all about the tacos.
Rain and tacos. Gosh, I'd love to get the license on that. It's raining tacos.
Everybody, welcome to season 3. Episode 1 of season 3, I'll have you, of Taco Tuesday. Let's talk about insurance. He's Glen Shelton. I'm Christian Brindle. And guys, we're excited. We're excited to be bringing you some new, fresh content. And we got a great topic for you here today. But before we do that, we got tacos. We got to talk about.
You have tacos. Also, before we talk about tacos, Christian and I spent an unbelievable amount of time strategizing the name change of this show. And so I thought it would be funny to mention this. And we talked so much about it that I finally just went into the Six Figure Medicare Agent Facebook group. And I'm like, let's just see what the people think. I'm just going to throw this out there. Should we change our name? If so, let us know what you think we should change the name of the show to. And again, the reason behind it, we still love tacos. We still love Taco Tuesday. The reasoning behind the change was that there's a lot of other Taco Tuesday related content on the internet, as I'm sure you can imagine. We don't own that slogan, but the people spoke, you guys. It was a landslide. It was like 3. If you remove Christian's vote, it was like It was like 3 against 70 in favor of keeping the name. So it's staying, you guys. Taco Tuesday. It's here.
It's here
forever.
to stay.
Tacos forever.
Yeah, the people definitely spoke, and they let us know that they were not down with the sickness of what we were considering. And so here we are, Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday 2022. We're here. Christian, tacos. Talk about it. What do you got? What do you have today? I'm guessing Taco Bell. I have no idea. I knew it. Oh, it's Del Taco.
I was craving it because they got these crinkle cut fries, which I really like. Right here,
dude.
And
I do like those fries.
Now I had a quesadilla, but I ate it already.
Of course you did,
because I was really hungry for the quesadilla. But we got these. We got the old reliable. We got the fish tacos here today, you guys.
Ooh, fish from Del Taco. That's dangerous.
It's very dangerous, and depending on who's preparing it, it can either make you very happy or very upset.
Let's see.
But when it's good, it's good.
You know, it actually looks really good. And I don't like fish taco. Like I'll say that with a caveat, actually. I've had some good fish tacos. Majority of fish tacos I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
But did you see when we did the name change poll in the group, someone was like, can you guys like eat better tacos? Someone said that. I was like, excuse me? I'm like, we eat the best tacos only on this show. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's funny.
This is my mystery today.
What do we got? What do we got in here? What's in this mystery oil?
It's rolled up like, this looks like a burrito. It looks like a burrito. Kind of smells like one. Look at that. It's a nice, but what's on the inside?
What is this? What is this mystery burrito that we're...
It's a lettuce burrito.
Oh, someone's going health kick. It's New Year's resolution, right? We're 2 weeks away from, we're 2 weeks past, I should say, New Year's resolutions. Yeah. So I would say, you know, we'll see if this sticks 3 months from now.
Yeah, I'll be right back to the Taco Bell binge, you guys. You've seen me eat more Taco Bell on this show than, I don't know. It's hard to even fathom how much Taco Bell has been consumed on this show. Shout out to Taco Bell. We're still waiting for the sponsorship money. I'm sure it's coming this year. Dude, what if Six-Figure Medicare Agent Summit? What if Taco Bell was one of the sponsors? That would make my life. If Taco Bell sponsored the summit. Hey, if anybody has any connections, feel free. Drop a comment. Let us know.
I don't know who we got to talk to get that done, but we got to get that done.
I'll make some calls. I'll have my people on it. Don't worry.
I'll make a call. I know a guy who knows a guy.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a really great topic that we're going to be talking about today and kind of discussing. And that is, there's been a lot of conversation in the Facebook groups, communities about events this year. And kind of like what events are going to be taking place this year? What events should people be going to? What can they expect? And, you know, you and I know pretty much everybody that's hosting a lot of these events, you know, and so, and we kind of have an idea of kind of what their forte is and kind of what the events are going to be in, you know, what can be expected at a lot of these events.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start off by talking about, I want to talk about a grand scheme of events that are taking place this year. Off the top of your head, what events have reached the Glen Shelton radar?
Man, and despite the funny part too is like, despite COVID being at record numbers right now, there's more events happening right now this year than ever. And like, I just got a phone call yesterday and someone was talking about some of the different lead events. And there's one that's happening like this weekend, I think. It's Lead Generation. It's in San Diego, I guess. Lead Generation World. I wasn't super familiar with it. But then obviously the big one that I hear a lot about and I've been to is Leads Con, which I I guess do you want to kind of like go through do you want me to just kind of dive into it right now, or do you want to kind of go through the names of the events and then go through what do you?
I'd say dive into it. Yeah, dive right in.
Yeah, let's just do it. So, I would love to talk about LeadsCon. I have been to LeadsCon. It has been a couple years since I have been to LeadsCon. So, whatever I tell you, take it with a grain of salt. I'm sure it's changed. Most people who host conferences will make changes year over year, but I can speak to when I went a few years back. The biggest, I guess the point that I'm most upset about with LeadsCon, you guys, is that it wasn't tailored to insurance when I was there. I've heard through the grapevine, through my network, that there's more insurance related content at LeadsCon. LeadsCon is in Las Vegas. It's typically at the end of Q1, it's end of March. They used to do 2 different LeadsCon events every year. They used to do Las Vegas in March and New York in August. The big event was the Las Vegas in March. That's the one that I went to. And I think they claim it's the biggest lead conference in the entire world. I think that's like their claim to fame, right? It's like, it's the biggest lead conference. So there was some cool vendors there. There was some speakers and breakout sessions that I got to hear that left an impression on me. The one in particular, I actually shared out on social media at the time. I'll never forget. It was Velocify, which is a dialer company. The president of the company, which I believe the owner, he's running it. He's on stage talking about how they studied 40,000 leads that went through their dialing platform and how very little of them ever got contacted. And that was like the start of me getting triggered every time that topic comes up is when this $1 billion company is like, hey, yeah, turns out people don't call the leads. I'm like, of course they don't. I'm like, that makes perfect sense. Why? Oh, you spent a bunch of money to try to make sales, but no, don't put any effort in. That's insane. That's insane. So there was some good stuff, but specifically the time that I went, my biggest gripe, if you're an insurance agent, is you probably would rather focus your time, energy, and money on insurance related conferences and events. I think you'll probably get more bang for your buck. There's going to be lead talk happening and marketing talk happening at all these different events. But that's the big event like that I had firsthand experience on that I wanted to kind of touch on and talk about. And then there's so many other events that's going to be happening this year. But Christian, do you want to jump into some other events that are coming up or big ones that you have on your radar?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, well, I'll talk about the ones that I think are the most relevant. If I don't talk about it, it's probably because I don't think it's very relevant.
Is that an event on your screen? Am I seeing an event?
This might be an event.
What is that?
This so happens to be an event in and of itself. For those of you watching on the YouTube version, we obviously have our event, the 6-Figure Medicare Agent Summit happening in Salt Lake City in June of this year, June 10th and 11th, 2-day event, 18 speakers, which is a lot of speakers for 2 days. So we were thinking that we might need to stretch it into 3 days, but I didn't think we needed to. I thought we could fit everything in 2 days, and the schedule is going to be able to allow that. So of course our event, I'm of course biased to it. Glen's going to be speaking. Going to be a lot of really great speakers. What I can say in a nutshell, what the 6-Figure Medicare Agent Summit is designed to do is it's designed to take somebody that's had a little bit of success and try to show them how to have a lot of success and how to take what they've built in terms of maybe a foundation. Maybe they have 50 clients, 100 clients, whatever the case might be, and teach them how to get to 1,000 clients in a very short amount of time, how to scale their business, how to actually grow an actual organization. Everybody that's taking the stage has built a successful company, some of which, extremely, extremely successful companies. So there's probably the best people in all the industry that are going to be taking the stage is in terms of my perception of it. I wanted to make sure that we had only the best of the best on that stage.
I want to interject really fast. The one thing that stands out to me about this event, you guys, is this is going to be super actionable content. If
Yes.
you are a senior insurance agent, obviously Medicare is the main focus, but maybe you're in a different vertical like final expense and you're interested in Medicare. This is going to be extremely actionable content. These are successful people who practice in the business, who are going to be sharing their secrets on stage, and you'll be able to network with them and talk with them. It's going to be huge. The other events similar to this that I've seen, and I haven't been to a ton of events recently. We've got COVID. I had a baby. So I have been like hunkered down like doomsday in my house. But the other events that I've seen from a distance is there's a lot of rah, oh, we've got a minor, a celebrities here, a motivational speaker is here. That's great. And if you're into that, hey, hit those events. But if you are like me, I am like, hey, I've got the self-motivation thing kind of figured out. Like,
Yeah.
I've got 3 kids. I've got to feed these kids. I don't need someone to like beat me up to work. I need to like, I'm trying to figure things out. Like, I'm like, hey, let's figure out what's going on, what's working for you. How can I improve? Like, just super actionable content. And I just have this feeling based on the speaker list and what Christian's told me, you guys, I think it's going to be a home run. I think he's got something really special planned this year. I'm super excited.
Yeah. I mean, and I appreciate you saying all that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's because that we have awesome people like you that are partnering with us to do the event that it's going to be as good as it is. I think, of course, we've got Glenn that's going to be taking the stage. We've got people like Danielle Kunkel Roberts of Boomer Benefits. We have Eric Fierro. We have Justin Brock, Galen Hendricks, Justin Thomas, Josh Lustick, Matthew Murray with Innovative Financial Group. Agent Pipeline is sending a myriad of speakers, and I can either
surprise speakers.
I can either confirm or deny who that are going to be at this point in time, but it's huge news. Just give it about 2-3 weeks, and we'll be able to unveil actually who that is.
Where, if someone wanted to stay up to date on this, where can they go to find more information about the summit?
I think the best place would probably be in the Facebook group itself, because that's probably where most of the announcements are made. Of course, we have a website that's just called sixfiguremedicareagent.com that is for the summit. That's actually where this came from. And so that's a website that we've built specifically for the event, and we can see the update. You can see the updated list of speakers and things like that. Perfect. And the sponsors and everything you can expect. You can also buy your tickets from that page. So that's that. But yeah, I mean, I think our event's going to be great. Of course, I'm partial to it.
Biased, very biased.
Some other events I think that are going to be taking place this year that are interesting, and I'm not even necessarily saying that I'm going to go to all of them, but like Josh Lustick has his event that's got happening at the end of February into the beginning of March. It's a 2-day event in Boise, Idaho. And it's a free event. So that's unusual. You don't see that every day. Last I talked to him, I think he only had about 7 spots left. And by the time this actually airs, who knows if there's even any spots left. So that might be sold out, but I'm going to that.
I like small events too. And again, Christian's event's not going to be, Leeds Con, like I just talked about, thousands and thousands of people, right? Which on one hand might attract more people that, especially if you're there for networking. But I feel like the smaller events where it's like 100, a few hundred, I feel like you get more out of those. So I think that's what sounds exciting about Josh's event and what he's got going on.
Yeah, from my understanding with Josh's, I think it's going to be about 50 people in the room. So it's definitely got an intimacy factor, in terms of like, there's not going to be 300 people in the room, that kind of thing. Of course, there's Medicare Con that's taking place in, I want to say, April in Birmingham, Alabama. Justin Brock and Medicare Gurus is throwing. I'm speaking at that one. So I will be there. I think Glenn Shelton might be there, right? Maybe.
Possible. It's possible. We're kind of seeing how some different things play out, you guys, but I would love to go to Medicare Con. Shout out to Justin Brock, which we shout him out like every episode. But, Medicare Con's an excellent event. It's an excellent event. This is going to be year 2, right? This is second year of doing it. So, there was great feedback after the last one. Part of the reason why I really want to go to this one, because I know it's going to be a great event. Smartly, he scheduled it after OEP.
Yeah.
Anybody who schedules an event and they expect Medicare agents to come and they're scheduling it during AEP or they're scheduling it during OEP, probably not the best time to throw an event. So,
right.
Shout out to Justin for good timing and good scheduling. I think it's like April 21st to 23rd or something, right? End of April.
Somewhere in there. I can't remember exactly with the dates, but I know it's 20 something. But yeah, I mean, so that's going to be a great event, 3-day event. There's always 8%, which is probably the biggest insurance event now. I mean, I think I went last year, there was about 1,000 people.
What about the road? You want to talk about the road show, since that's new too, that they've been doing, and it's happening literally right now, I think, right?
Yeah. So from my understanding, it's just 1-day little events, that they're doing around the country. And there's like a group of speakers that are going everywhere with them, like Tony Merwin, Pete Fournier, people like that. Essentially, I think it's just a mini 8% nation. And so I think it's from my observation from afar, I think it's designed for people. It's bringing the show to you if you live in that city or you're around that city, and maybe you can't make it to the big event in July in Texas. My perception of 8% after going the first year is there was some speakers that I got some value from. Like they had Patrick Bet-David there. That was kind of like one of their celebrity speakers, but he's actually in the industry. And so he had some actual, it was
that's
very
cool.
Relatable to me.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's a big name. And
it's a relevant name too. Like,
right.
they also had like Darren Woodson or something. I could give a shit, I mean, to be completely honest with you, I mean, those kind of speakers, I didn't even stay for that one. I just went out in the hall because I didn't care. No relevance to me.
Sure.
You can teach me to tackle.
Guys, there's a football under your seat and pads behind your seat.
I think there's virtually zero value in that unless you're just a big football fan.
Right.
I don't mean to. And the other thing is like, I think, and the other things that I enjoyed about 8% was like, there was a panel with Bobby Beisch on it. Galen Hendricks, Taylor Martin, who's Galen Hendricks' business partner, on it. I got a ton out of that panel, right? Because that's, absolute giants in the industry that are on that panel. So you can't help but take something very valuable away. Danielle, I almost forgot Danielle Kunkel was on that panel. That was really valuable. Justin Brock.
So what about the networking? Do you feel like you had some good networking opportunities?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, 8% is just, essentially it's a big party. It really is. It's like a 3-day party. So I had a lot of fun and there was some great networking opportunities. There was all kinds of people there. So I think I probably, out of anything, got the most value out of the networking. Like I got to meet Eugene Marchenko for the very first time. We got to talk. We've never really talked before. We ended up doing a video together. We talk every now and then. So that was cool now. And so I think there's some value from it from that perspective. But my other perspective of it is I think probably about more of the content than not was probably just rah-rah, which I don't like necessarily. It's fine. Like you said, I'm not the type of person that
it's a personality type, bro. There's people who, like, when they get the raw content, the pump up content, like, look at my house. This could be your house. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of content where like, it's kind of, what's the guy that got into crypto and he, big YouTuber. I'm blanking on his name.
Lopez?
Yes. boom, 100 points.
Tai Lopez, though, by the way. I would go.
But like his
Tai
early
Lopez is
content, like he has some good content. I've watched a lot of Tai Lopez too, but like some of his content can also be like, hey, look at my Lambos, guys.
Some of it's entertainment and not educational.
Right, exactly. So I love a certain level of entertainment, but like that's not, if I'm paying to go to a conference personally, I'm there to learn that I can play in and entertainment or just purely motivational. A lot of times I don't get the same value. And again, that's myself personally. So I totally understand where you're coming from when you're talking about speakers that don't mesh. And that's how LeadsCon went. There was some speakers at LeadsCon where I'm like, this person just has no value to give me. And I'm out in the hall or I'm doing something.
Yeah. I mean, is my connection coming through okay?
You know, yeah, you lagged a little bit right there.
Okay. Is it better now? I'll shut off my video for a second. How about now?
Yeah, you sound fine. You lagged a little bit. It wasn't too bad.
Okay. I mean, another thing about 8% that I would like to, that I'll add, and I'm not trying to beat up on it. Like I'll give them credit for this. Like they do a really good job at throwing a great show, and putting on a great, a great 3-day event. I mean, there's a lot of work that gets put into it. They spend a lot of money on it. So it is a great, performance, for lack of a better word, if you will. But I think, like there's certain speakers that I saw that went up that literally had nothing to say other than to sell you something. It's definitely a sell fest. I'd say very few of the speakers are actually there to actually give you any value. They want to get you in the room to upsell you some $10,000 package. There was one of my agents that one of the speakers, she actually liked the presentation. She bought, a package for like a multiple day training event, but they didn't specify the days that it was. And it was one of those things where like, buy it now or it goes up 90% more, so she spent about $1,000 and she's one of my best agents, by the way. So I got a little protective about her, and months go by, no communication on when it's actually going to be, which I think I don't like that. And then, kind of what happened was, maybe at the mid-September time period, they finally got back with her, told her when it was going to be, and it was right in the middle of AEP, and they wouldn't refund her money. And she was like, this is terrible. She's like, I never would have done this if I knew it was going to be during AEP. She's like, I just thought it's an insurance conference. I think they'd have some sense. So it's there's a lot of selling going on. It's definitely a sell fest, a lot of rah-rah. I'd say probably 5 to 10% of the content is actually good content, in my opinion. It's a lot of fun. The networking is great. It's a great party. But I think essentially, if you're looking on actually how to actually build your business, there might be a better event you can go to.
I think that's a fair review. I mean, again, I haven't been to 8%, but based on some of the speakers, and I've seen some of the content remotely, I would probably go to 8% if I was trying to network. There was a bunch of people at the most recent 8% that I was like, man, it'd be cool to be in the room with all of these people at once, because all of these people don't get in a room very often, So again, I'm not a big rah-rah motivational speaker guy. That's not what I'm going to an event for. But I appreciate you sharing your feedback on Taco Tuesday. So I'm trying to think some other events. Another event, guys, that I'll mention, and I'll let Christian kind of think of another event while I'm going here. Jeff Root, shout out to Jeff Root, one of my personal heroes. I'm going to be honest. Hopefully, Jeff, you actually see this, but digital life insurance mastermind. He typically does it once a year. He may have skipped a year because of COVID, or it got pushed back. I didn't get a chance to go. I haven't been to this event yet, but I've heard such great things about it. I know Jeff pretty well. I've gotten to work with Jeff before. Jeff has his own Facebook group, which you guys can look up. I think it's like Digital Life Insurance Agent. I think if you search that, it'll come up. There's some really great content that gets shared in there. But if you're looking for telesales, life insurance, anything that's kind of around those two vectors, that would be the conference I would recommend for sure. Jeff's been selling life insurance over the phone like for 20 years. I feel like it's crazy, like 15 to 20 years now. He's in Europe right now, I think, or he's been traveling overseas. And his experience is that he's sold insurance overseas by selling over the phone, so like, that's just super cool. That speaks a lot to what I believe in and what you can accomplish through telesales and remote work. But I think last year that was in August. I don't remember exactly, but Jeff Root, if you search anything with him, it should come up. The Digital Life Insurance Agent, Digital Life Insurance Agent Mastermind, I think was the actual name of it. But Christian, what do you think? What's another event that could be coming up that people might be interested in?
Yeah, that's a great suggestion too. I mean, I might try to get to that one of these days.
Yeah.
That's I've got a lot of respect for Jeff Root. I've never
100%.
talked to him and I don't know him like you do, but I just from afar, I've got a lot of respect for Jeff. Of course, there's always the MedSub conference. I don't know how much value it has these days. I haven't been.
It's like no one goes to it anymore.
I mean, I've never been. And
I haven't either.
So I might go one time just to say that I've gone and to just give it a chance. But I think it's more so, it's not as sexy as the others from my understanding, right?
It's a bit sterile. It's like a hospital, it's like, I've watched. So what I can say about the MedSub conference is I've watched recordings of it. I've seen speakers who spoke in there, and it feels like an AA meeting, like that's like that vibe. It's just, I don't know. I'm probably gonna get like a cease and desist for that one. But it was really, just there wasn't a lot there. I think, and I could totally be wrong here, you guys, but from what I've heard, I think it might be more of a vendor booths. I think it's geared more towards that. Like Christian's events, like all speakers. Leads Con does like a hybrid. So it's like every event structures things a little differently. I don't know. Have you heard anything about MedSubCon? Am I just completely off the rails here?
No,
or what?
I've heard a lot of what you've heard.
Okay.
Like the same things. And like the videos I've seen, that is very reminiscent of like an AA meeting. And so yeah, I mean, it used to be kind of the only event in my opinion.
It was. That's its claim to fame. It was the Medicare event. That was it.
The relevance has definitely taken a dive. I think the other conferences springing up have maybe, they share more. They talk about more viable content necessarily. I think there might be some value to it. I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't be my first choice in terms of events.
Wouldn't be my first choice. I think there's a lot of reasons why it's not what it used to be. I think there's a lot of reasons why, because again, initially there wasn't really any other Medicare conferences. So if you were a Medicare agent and you wanted to go to a conference, you were going to the MedSub conference.
Yeah.
And a lot of the kind of OG agents in my head that like when I first got in the business that I was talking to, the OG agents were all going to the Medicare supplement conference. And they were meeting up and network. The other thing that just kind of popped in my head as I was saying that too is a ton of the carrier related events that like the top producers get to go on. Those are huge. Those are huge too. That's probably worth mentioning too.
Sure. Yeah, certainly. I mean, essentially, you have ancillary products a lot of times that are going to be able to, get you to those carrier trips, like Medicare supplements. Most Medicare supplement companies do a trip these days if you produce enough. Ancillary carriers like hospital indemnity. I know GTL for a while had a trip. I don't know if they still do.
So yeah, I mean, those are great. And, I think with those, you get to be around other people and, everyone there is a baller. You can't be there unless you're a baller.
Yep.
Medicare Advantage doesn't do it. They're just, it's more of a federal thing, since Medicare Advantage plans are highly federally, regulated and funded.
Yeah.
So their Medicare Advantage production can't get you to a trip, but some of the MedSup companies could still do it. And so, yeah, those are definitely worth mentioning.
Yeah.
And they send you to extravagant places too.
Most of the time. Sometimes they're lame. I've seen some final expense carriers where I'm like, really? I'm like, that's what you're doing? It's like, I can't even remember off the top of my head. I swear it was like a Liberty Bankers trip or something. They're like, come on down to the New Jersey boardwalk. I don't know. I just remember thinking it was not Mutual of Omaha taking me to Ireland.
Right.
Like the big trips like that, we were like, oh man, that's a huge perk of the industry, you guys. If you're a top producer with these carriers, and top producer is honestly not what it sounds like. A lot of times it can be a pretty low threshold. If you're a full-time producer, I know agents who will qualify for 4 or 5 trips a year because they're a broker, they're sharing their business, they're hitting all these trips. Some of them will even game the system a little bit. And they're like, oh shoot, I need 10 more Mutual of Omaha apps. And then they're focusing more on Mutual of Omaha, which, if that works for the client, awesome. And take advantage of the incentives and go out on the trip and enjoy the networking and everything else that they provide on those.
Well, one more thing I wanted to mention, and then, if there's any others that you want to touch on, I'll turn it over to you. But I did want to get your take on this. And it's a little bit of muddy waters that I'm about to take us into, and I hope I don't get us into trouble. Like, I'm a little nervous to even discuss it, but I'm going to anyway.
Great. Love the segue. I feel great. Let's go.
These all women events.
Okay.
That are taking place this, and I have nothing against all women events. Let me point that out there. I have nothing against women. I think some of the best agents that I know in the entire industry are women. I think if you put a man and a woman side by side in terms of being an agent and all things are equal, I think a lot of times the woman will outsell the man. I think women make great agents, and I know some incredible agents that are women. So I want to say that.
I would add a few more compliments before you say whatever.
I think that
though, women are great insurance sales agents. 100%. I totally agree with you. 100%.
I think that there's a couple different kinds of events that we see in the industry that are all women events, and I'm not against all of them. Like an example would be like the Club Win event. I'm a big supporter of the Club Win event that Rebecca Davis, Faye Horton, that they're doing. I'm sponsoring that event, so I put my money where my mouth is on that. I'm a big supporter. Rebecca Davis is a good friend, and I want to support her and what she's doing. I think what she's doing is great. That one more strikes me as, let's get together and network as women. Just where we can hang out together and kind of see other people that are doing it, at a big time level that are also women. And it doesn't come across to me like it's, that it's a real divisive thing. But then you have other events where it's like, no boys allowed. I am woman, hear me roar, blah, blah, blah. And all that like absolute horse shit. It's like the people that are saying that about the events, no boys allowed. None of us want to go to your dumb event. Like, I'm sorry.
Well, I think here's the thing. This is what I was thinking as you were saying that is, you're talking about a specific problem of a much bigger issue. The problem here is that some of these events are being mislabeled, mismarketed, and the content that's being promised isn't there when you go to the event.
Yeah.
So that's what's being discussed here. And this is not just the women event. It's just specifically, we've seen that. I can attest to that too, from what I've seen from afar. It seems like there's been some misrepresentation on some of those events. I don't think we have to specifically name which ones,
no. Yeah.
that's something that everyone should be careful of with all events, especially if you don't know any of the speakers that are speaking at the event, or maybe, it's an event that's happening for the first time and there's not really, anybody reputable that's going to the event, right? Like there's simple things that you can do to kind of safeguard yourself, because you don't want to waste your time. You don't want to take in bad information. You could go to an event, take in bad information, come back, make bad decisions in your business. Now you're losing time, money, you're going backwards. So I totally understand like why you wanted to feel like you're being careful there. But the reality is this is a much bigger problem. This isn't just like a 1 or 2 event problem. This is why we want to talk about it today with you guys, because we realize how big of a problem that is.
I think the reason why like I wanted to support the Club Win event and not other events that might, be in that same world is because I felt like the other events, they brand themselves and market their event on the back of, trying to pin women against men. And I think anytime that you're trying to do something like that, it's so elementary for one, like no girls allowed, no boys allowed, like why can't we just come to a place where like, if you're a great agent, you should be celebrated. If you're a great person in the industry, you should be celebrated. And it shouldn't come from a divisive place. And I don't look at Club Win at all as divisive. And I think more of it's just, they just want to celebrate great women agents. The other event or events or whatever, that might cater to that same kind of idea are more so just kind of building their back on, on the back of, we haven't got our fair share. And it's almost like a feminist kind of thing, but like a crazy, extremist, feminist, terrorist kind of thing. Like
you're gonna get murdered. Stop.
I'll leave it at that, but
please do. Please do. Oh my God.
But yeah, I mean, I thought we should touch on those kind of events for a second. And I thought there was a couple different ones, and I wanted to kind of differentiate why certain ones, in my opinion, might be more reputable than the others. And
so there's an event that just came to mind as you were saying that. This is not a girls event, but it's someone that you and I have talked about without mentioning their name on the show before. And that person does events typically back east, hint, hint. I don't know if that's enough info for you, but that could be an event that you might want to avoid, right? So that was very cryptic, but again,
I agree.
Yeah.
I would agree with that with not attending that individual's event.
So to kind of come full circle on this whole thing, you guys, because I was thinking about, I don't think I have any other events that I want to really cover. I think we really hit all the main ones.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's ones that we missed. So if you're like, hey, you guys forgot about this awesome event, we're on a limited time crunch here. We're talking about the ones that we're hearing about that we would like to go to, or we will go to. And the other thing I want to mention to you guys is this year, we're doing things a little differently. If you saw our intro video, we're trying to keep the episodes a little bit shorter. Most of these episodes are going to be pre-recorded because Christian and I have such limited time. We will do some live episodes because we love interacting with you guys. So you will see that still. We'll probably try to do it maybe once a month. So just keep an eye on the Facebook group. We'll make sure to announce that. But yeah, you can catch these episodes, anywhere that there's podcasts. You can catch it on Christian's YouTube channel, in the 6-Figure Medicare Agent Facebook group. It's going to be in there. It's going to be in my group, How to Market and Sell Insurance to Seniors. So yeah, appreciate all of you Taco Tuesday Army being a part of the show, season 3 seasons in, and hopefully we get to see you guys later this year.
Appreciate you guys. We'll be back next week with another episode. And if you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, notification bell, and we'll see you next time, guys. Keep eating tacos.
Tacos.